My name's Phil Barnes and I'm the CEO of Rotana.
Phil, thank you so much for sitting down with Breaking Travel News here at World Travel Market on day 2.
Right, well, it's great to see you.
Oh,
it's
likewise.
Great to be here.
Absolutely, brilliant. So first of all, you're what, sort of 8 months in or something?
Yeah, 9 months, I think. Right? Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm
How's
still
it been?
there, I'm still surviving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Give us an update.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm the first CEO who came from outside Rotana. And, and I say that because I came in with a very different perspective. My predecessors all grew up within the company, and I didn't. So I came in with a very different perspective and a fresh perspective. And when you do that, and I said to the team right at the beginning, look, there's going to be change. Because you don't bring in an executive chef, for example, in your restaurant and say, keep doing what you've always done. So that's a part and parcel of life. But change is tough for people. But you've got to look at everything. And I'm a person who asks a lot of times, I ask why? Why do we do that? What is it we're doing here? I look at numbers. I like to validate what we're doing. So I spend a lot of time doing that with the team. And a lot of things that we were doing, we're now doing differently. And we've changed our approach quite dramatically in terms of how we work with the hotels. We were a very centralized company because we'd grown up. We were a family company. We grew up in Abu Dhabi, and that was great when we had 10 or even 20 hotels. But now we're at 82 hotels in 14 countries. The GMs have got to run with the businesses. So given them a lot of the ownership and accountability that they wanted, and they're running with that, and they're having fun with it, and holding them accountable as one do. But I give them the parameters to work within. But then they're running with it, and I've had a great response from them.
I can imagine because good GM loves a bit of autonomy, right?
Totally. Right? And that's exactly what they are. Instead of so as you go around and saying, look, guys, you're in charge, you do what needs to be done. It's like, okay, I'm off, I'm running. And I like that. I mean, I've got great GMs. I'm very blessed. And great GMs who know their business and know what needs to be done. So let them run. I'd rather have racehorses that I'm going, whoa, slow down, rather than the other way around. And can you speed it up a little bit? Right?
Driving the business and the brand
Driving
forward.
the business. So that's really been a lot of the first 8 and 9 months. I'm looking at how we're moving forward into next year with a very big focus on commercial. I've got a chief commercial officer starting at the beginning of next year. I've just appointed a CIO recently who's looking at all of our technology, all with a view to where we go in the future, which is really what it's all about, isn't it, when you look at it?
100%. Tell me a little bit about that Rotana experience. What does it mean to you?
Listen, I get caught up in all of this because it's really been, again, a big part of this. When you look at the company, we're the only company of substance that was born, raised, and has grown up in the Middle East, right? So, earlier in the year when I would be at an iftar, for example, in one of our hotels, there's a very unique and authentic feeling about it because that's who we are. And that to me is a big part of our DNA. And with that DNA, and you know this because you live in the region, right? Family is so important. And we are a family business, so that family feel goes through everything we do. And again, as I was going around the hotels, talking to the teams, we've got people with 10, 15, 20 years of service, and not just 1 or 2. I mean, we've got one hotel, I think it's Anwar's Rotana, just posted something online, that have 888 years of service. That's in one hotel, okay? And I think that, again, is a big part of our DNA. So to me, that's what Rotana is that family and that coming from the region. And we use this expression, treasured time. And somebody asked me earlier on today, well, what does that mean? And I said, well, it's different for everybody. You and I were just talking about your son and playing hockey. That's treasured time. When I get together with mine, all 3 of them, I mean, they're now young adults, anywhere in the world, and we sit down for dinner and we laugh all the way, that's treasured time. But for a guest, it could be a great experience in the hotel, in the restaurant or at the bar or wherever, or a spa. That, again, is treasured time. So we're building off that because we think I think it really is important. This is hospitality, as we were just talking about, right? And hospitality is about taking care of people, but you have to do it with passion. You have to do it. It has to be genuine. It has to be authentic. It's not just a slogan that people that you put up on a wall and everybody's supposed to follow. It has to come from within, and that's within Rotana's DNA. That's really, I think, what Rotana is about.
I think that's a brilliant encapsulation, because, as you said, it's also inherently coming from the culture of the region, right, where you were born. It's ingrained. Hospitality is ingrained, right?
It is absolutely ingrained. I tell this story just because it's indicative to me of the region. I'd been a couple of months in, or 3 or 4 months in, and I wasn't well. So I'd picked up a bug somewhere, and I was at home. And one of our VPs is also the daughter of our chairman. Anyway, I couldn't get her to go away. Food kept arriving, medicines kept arriving, and I was telling this to our CIO, Dominic, a few weeks later, and he said, oh, she did the same thing to me 4 months ago when I wasn't well. That's family, right? That's when you have that sense of caring and being taken care of, and it comes from within your parents, as it were. It's just magical. It really is. I could go on about it forever.
Fascinating. So you're talking about change and that being a constant, and you're empowering your GMs to drive the business forward. Tell me about sort of what's next on the roadmap. What's in the plan?
Well, we have a lot of things that are underway now for the new year. We're in the process, quite honestly, and I'm sure somebody would say, well, that's long overdue. We are really we're rebuilding our website. We're breaking it down. We're taking it apart. We're going to rebuild it with new booking engines, etc., to make it much more easily managed. We're looking at our loyalty programs. As I said, I'm driving responsibility into the field so that the guys can move much faster. Speed is of the essence in everything we do. So I've got a big focus on the commercial side of Rotana, which I think is very important, and also a big focus on the development side. Just appointed a country manager for Turkey and Eastern Europe, who is overseeing operations in our hotels in that part of the world, but also has a big focus on development. When I talk about where we want to go, yes, there's what you really consider the Middle Eastern region, but there's also, I expand upon it, and it goes into Turkey and Greece and Cyprus. Maybe not necessarily classified as the Middle East, but a strong connectivity. When you're in Turkey, you have a strong sense of the connection to the Middle East. And the same is true to a certain extent in Africa, where we're going to apply a resource there. We just opened a hotel in the north coast of Egypt a couple of months ago now. We've got a big project underway in Cairo, but I'd like to see us more and more into Africa and into parts of Africa, as the world is changing at such a fast pace. Countries that people thought maybe 5 years ago, oh, why would you go there? Now things have changed so dramatically, and there's opportunities, and so we're seeing more of that. So that's a big focus. That's really my 2 major focuses for next year. There'll be a lot of other things that sort of come along the way and get caught up in that process, but those are the 2 big nuggets.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking time just to sit down. Congrats on the first chapter. Looking forward to hearing more about the next.
Well, it's been fantastic, but we're traveling fast. As the chairman said to me the other day, he said, "You're going very quickly," and I was like, "Yay! I thought that was the requirement." But anyway, we're having fun with it. That's what matters.
Well, keep us posted.
I
Thanks,
will.
Phil.
All right, it's good to see you.